I'm Vana from the Vanaverse, and for today's Verse and Voices event, we are sitting down with children's author Aimee Ryan. Aimee, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So before we jump into our questions about you and your book and all of your adventures that you take with your littles, I have a couple icebreaker questions to loosen you up a little bit. So first question. Since your book is about adventures, what is the most unplanned adventure you've ever had in your life?
Okay, so the most probably unplanned, it was like partially planned, but unplanned was we were in Acadia National Park and my almost 2-year-old decided he was going to hike all the way up to Bubble Rock by himself, which is like a mile up, mile back. And so like I wasn't prepared. I had my backpack carry. I was like, we got this. We're just going to hike. And then like there he is scrambling up rocks. It was a little unplanned, but it was really exciting that he was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm ready to hike by myself. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, and he did it?
Yeah, he did it. And he told everyone in his little 2-year-old speak how exciting it was.
He was like, these are my bragging rights.
Yeah.
That is adorable. I love that. Okay, next question. What was the very first book that made you feel like you had gone somewhere without leaving your room?
So now this is probably, like a lot of people's book, but Harry Potter. Like I was 11, they were 11. Like I felt like I was going to Hogwarts with them. And it was that book that like, I was that person that was, at Barnes & Noble when I got older at midnight, getting my book, reading it. Like the last book, I think I finished it by the morning. I got it at midnight and it was like completed by the morning. So it was just one of those things that it just like transformed and just gave me that love of reading. And it just expanded beyond to so many other books. It just gave me confidence that I could read anything by myself.
I love Harry Potter. That's like my ride or die series. So I'm right there with you.
It's like when I'm sick, I'll turn on the movies because I already know everything about it. And I just fall asleep and wake back up. I'm like, okay, we're good.
I'm still in the Harry Potter world. I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that. Okay. Last question here. If you were a park ranger for the day, what would be the first rule you'd make for visitors?
I think it would be just like ask as many questions as you can. Because I feel like a lot of times the adults kind of take over and ask questions, but you're missing out on like the things that the littles will ask that you would never think to ask, which is one of the reasons why I wrote this book, because the trainees are so cool. And if I hadn't fostered that, let's ask as many questions as you can, then that might not have happened the way it did.
That is true. Because kids notice things that we're too busy to not notice. And they're also at a lower, I guess, level.
So they see things that you don't. Yes. And like, I was always about like good eyes with my kids to like, just like rate that you notice that. Like, those are such good eyes. So that way, like, it encourages them to look and see more and ask more questions.
Be more observant. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great skill to have. So let's talk a little bit about how you started writing and your journey up until publishing this book. Take Us Somewhere is really like a published family memory. So how did that come about? And how did you know you wanted to put your real life experiences in a book like this?
So it was one of those things where we went and we told all of our family about it and we told our friends and like we just went over the story, like how cute, because it was really cute. Like it was just like one of those sweet memories that we had, and we just kept talking it over. And then I just went to try to find books that kind of foster that love of like learning, exploration, and like little kid centric. And there's not much out there. So like the more we talked about it, the more I mulled it over. And I got really sick at the beginning of last year, and I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? Like, let's do this. And I was just looking into it, and that's where it came out. And I just sat there and I wrote it down in one day, and like we edited it, and I just kept reading it to my littles, and they were just so excited. And they were like, read it again. Like, this is our book copy. And it's been well loved. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that they just like remembering and those memories as well.
That's really sweet. And I love that you decided like, hey, like this doesn't exist. I haven't really seen it anywhere. So you're like, let me do it. Let me give this for children to read and enjoy. I love that so much. This book is about your trip to Congaree.
Congaree, yeah.
Congaree, yeah. I will be butchering that name for the duration of this conversation. So was there a specific moment that you on that trip that you were like, I want to write the book about this? Like, why that specific trip?
So I think just to start out, this was kind of the one that kind of like the light bulb moment of where my son just started asking more and more questions like, what is that? What is, what does it do? And it was just, I think, a good jumping off point. We have been to several, like 20 plus national parks. And this was just kind of the one that I just felt was a good place to introduce us and like how we go about our park day and just the adventures that we do have and kind of the jumping off point for the next adventure.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Okay, so you were a teacher before you published your book here. So how does that teacher side of your brain help you write and create this book, but in an authentic way?
So I think it's mostly authentic because this is like real life. So you can kind of get enveloped in the story and just see yourself there, because I think a lot of books, like, you're like, do you have littles? Like, because that's not really how they talk, or that's not really like, they don't really act like that. So, I mean, it just kind of like, if you are sitting with your kids, you can see that in your kids, like in Otto and Olive. And it's just, they are authentic in who they are. And I think just like the moving and then learning, and like, most kids don't like to sit still. And I think us trying to force them to sit still, where you get out and you learn and you move, that's more of a memory for them. And like, it's just fun. Yeah. So like, you're moving, you're hiking, you're exploring, you're touching, you're feeling, you're grabbing. Yeah. And it just gives
they're
that
using all
lasting
their
memory.
senses. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And me growing up, like I was the same way. Like for history, like I always tell my husband, like I can never learn from a textbook. Like if I were to go to a historical site, feel it, see it, like look at how it is, like what is that energy there? I feel like I can learn from it more because I'm actually there. Yeah. So it's that tactile learning that I feel is so important. I feel like now, especially nowadays with technology and screens, which we will talk about in a little bit here, but it's so important now to actually like get out there and actually like touch grass, as people say. Yeah. Especially for kids. You got to start them early.
Well, I think a lot of, I've noticed in recent years, the parks are less empty. People are taking their kids out less. And granted, there's like valid reasons for all of that. But I think it's just like, where do you start out with? Because like, do you have that big community where you can go out with a bunch of people and like, so you have multiple adults looking after, or how do you start out just being able to go out there? And I hope this book encourages, maybe you might not get to Congaree, maybe you might not get to Acadia, but go to your state parks, go to your library. You can
go to rent your backyard.
You can rent a state park pass from your library. So you can go for free. Really? So like a lot of libraries have them. All you do, go check out a state park pass from your local library. And then you can go for free. And there's so many adventures that you can just do. And I hope it just shows that, you're going to toddler anywhere. Like your kids are going to melt down. They're going to have a moment. They're going to be tired. They're going to be hungry. But that's going to happen anywhere. So you might as well go out and have that experience. And like the first thing they asked this morning, because like both my husband and I are off today, and they were like, where are we going to venture? Oh. So, like, it's just that love of learning and like exploring that I hope when they get older,
they want to continue it.
Yeah, and it grounds them, like to just get out and slow down. And I love national parks because half the time your phone doesn't work. So you can't even be on it. So you get to like just enjoy.
Yeah, you gotta get lost in the woods type of thing.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's also quality time, right, for your family. Given like today's like work style, it's so hard to find daycare and childcare and all that. So it actually gives you more time to connect with your children, and for your children to connect with you too and say, hey, like when I was little, my parents used to take me on all these adventures, and they have those bragging rights, like your son at 2 years old when he was able to go and tell people, I hiked all by myself. Oh my gosh.
He has a stuffy that has the hiking pass from like little patch from Acadia that I sewed on. Yeah. So it just like memorializes, this is your first hike. And it was just one of the things that we love. And he wears his backpack that has all of his national park patches on it that he's just sweet. Like, he's just so proud of it.
Have you done all the national parks?
Gosh, no, there's so many. We've done a good amount, most on the East Coast, and we've done a bunch in like Utah area, but Oh yeah, we've got a long list of like places we want to go and what we want to do. And some of them like we might do when they're a little older because it's a little harder to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love it. And we've been back to Acadia several times. It's one of our favorite places.
Oh, that's so nice. So does you have a son and a daughter, right?
Yes.
Does your daughter enjoy them too? Because I know you talk about your son.
Oh, she does. And it's just like a different adventure. So like we went to Acadia the second time, and Olive was a little older, and I was like, okay, so this will be her first hike. Like you just go expecting like this is what happened. And then we spent all of our time on the cliffs playing in the tide pools and like looking at little fishies and just getting wet. So I mean, you just don't know what to expect. And I think that's the best part is like you go in thinking it's going to be one trip and it comes out a completely different because you just kind of like you have a plan, but I like to let them lead because it is their trip as well. And it's fun to see what they enjoy and try to foster that in them.
Have you been to like these national parks before your kids were born? And did you like, how did that start?
Yeah, my husband and I, we did a lot of traveling before, and we went to a few national parks, but the Blue Ridge Parkway was like our big thing when I was pregnant in the very beginning of COVID. So the only place we really got to go was the Blue Ridge Parkway. So we spent a lot of time like out walking on the Blue Ridge Parkway and just being outside and enjoying that. And it was just kind of one of those things that it was just easy to transition into that with our littles. And I mean, they just love being outdoors. They call our tent the bouncy castle because we don't sleep on the floor. We sleep on an air mattress. We're not that.
We're a little like bougier than the standard.
It's slightly glamping, but so they kind of
glamping. That's what it's called. Yes,
they call it the bouncy castle, and when it comes out, they get so excited. So I mean, it's just one of the things that I grew up kind of going and exploring the outdoors. And I mean, we still take our kids to Disney and stuff like that, but I mean, we do mostly national parks and
that's
things
awesome.
like that.
And I feel like that's so different. You know, like I have never been to a national park. I would love to go because I've heard such good things, and I've heard it's such an experience to just be one with nature. I love that you're starting them early. So, and does that reduce screen time? I'm assuming yes.
It does. Okay. And I mean, like, I'm not anti-screen time.
Yes.
We definitely tailor it to educational things at this age, but it's one of those things where yes, I do pack the candles in an emergency. Do they know they're in the vehicle? No, but I mean, like, there might be a time just in case. But otherwise, yeah, they just want to get out and like walk and explore. And we love doing Leave No Trace because the last time we went camping, we were at Disney World and we came home with a bunch of pine cones. But I mean, like they were picking up our campsite and like the pine cones weren't supposed to be where they were at. So they just picked them up and I didn't realize they were in the back of our vehicle. So I mean, like, it's just
a little keepsake.
So much fun.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's a wreath now. It's okay.
Oh, did you guys make it into a wreath?
We made it into a wreath.
See, that's like a little activity that you made with. That's awesome. I love that. Olive and Otto. Wow. Okay. They're based on your children. Like so are there any, is it like their personalities, their curiosity, their like openness to the nature? Is it exactly like what your kids are?
Oh yeah. So like we went through and my husband and I talked and we're like, do we want to use their names? Do we not want to use their names? And I just couldn't think of any other name because, like, reading it is them, and like I think that's the best part.
Olive and Otto?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just couldn't change it.
Oh.
And like, the book, it is them. They ask so many questions, and my son walks up and says hi to everyone. He says, "Hello, my name is Otto, OTTO." Just like, and he just introduces himself to everyone, and they're just open and friendly, and they just love talking to people, and like. Even Olive, she's going to be 3 now, and she walks up and she goes, "I'm Olive," and I just like the book is them, and that's why I think it really does connect with the readers because it's just authentically us.
That's awesome. I love that. You've already talked so much about this, but how do you keep like the wonder and like curiosity, like we were saying, like for your own life? Because like this is really like for kids, like to go out in nature and learn and feel and see things with their own eyes. But how does that sense of wonder, like how do you keep that child side of you as an adult?
I think the easiest way is to just be present with your own littles, because if you see how they see, there's a lot of times that you're like, I wouldn't have noticed that. I would have been too busy trying to get to the next thing. So I think a lot of times I learned, like when it was my husband and I had planned things out. Like, we're going to do this, this, and this, which you can do for adults. But for littles, it's like, here's a general guideline of what we want to do for today. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, like, I'm not going to be stressed out. And it just allows that exploration of, like, we hung out in the cliffs in Acadia for several hours. They were soaking wet when we left, but they had so much fun. And it was just relaxing, and it brings that peace into me to just see them explore and just learn with them. Because I mean, I didn't know what tree knees were. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people like about this book is, like, you see them, like, that's weird looking, but it just kind of like, we got to learn together on what tree knees were and how they go. So it was just, it's like learning as a family. And I think if you learn together, you grow together, and it just creates that tight knit family that we are hoping to foster in our family.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really, it's so different, right? It's like how we were saying earlier, like, kids see things that we're too busy in our minds focused on, okay, like, do we have this? Do we have this? Do we have this? Or like, we have to get here. Like, we're on a schedule because our time is limited. But for kids, like, they don't know like that concept. For them, it's like, oh, the world is my oyster. Let me like take my time and look at every single nugget that I see in front of me. And I love that they force you to slow down and to be present, like you said.
That's good. And I think a lot of people, it's a great reminder to slow down, because I think some people, that's the hardest thing to do is to unplug and slow down and just enjoy that time, because they're only going to be small for so long. And I think if you just wait, I've heard so much, like, especially when we were pregnant, like, oh, you can't travel like you used to when you have kids. Oh, you can't do this. I'm like, don't limit yourself. Because you can. It's all about planning. Mm-hmm. Yes, do we bring every set of clothes they own? Because who knows what's going to happen? Sometimes we come home with a lot of clothes. Sometimes we come home and we have needed to wash. So, I mean, it's just like, it's the extra planning in the beginning, but it's worth it, because they might not remember, but like, you'll have those memories, and then it just encourages you to go out and do more. Yeah. And like, our first big trip post-COVID was, we went to the aquarium. My son was 9 months old, and it was in Atlanta. So it was that big aquarium. He's not stopped talking since. So like, they might not remember it, but they feel it, and it just opens their little world up, and it just makes them more confident, strong human beings that I don't think screens can do for you.
Yeah. And it's like seeing it with your own eyes. Like you said, it's their whole world. Like, for them, it's like, oh, like for us, it's like picture on a frame, for example, but for them it's like the colors and what's like their own imagination, because their imaginations, like, they come up with so many things, and it lets them broaden their minds, learn to be open-minded as well. So I think that's great.
Oh yeah, like we went out west, like, that's a whole new world. It's like, he'd watch Cars before we went, and it's like, oh, it's real. I mean, like, it's just taking them out of their comfort zone makes them stronger human beings. So I think it's just one of those things that I think if I had to give anybody advice, was just go out there and just enjoy.
And I think that's super important, like, especially when they're kids, because when you're a child, like, I don't have kids, but I was one, and I remember being like, just absorbing everything, just like taking in everything and saying, okay, like, this is what I like, what I don't like. And it's like, I feel like you learn more than just staying at home in four walls and watching something on TV. It's like, instead of that, you could be there and you can experience it and see it. And I love that you're starting them so young, so that when they grow up, they can be like, yeah, well, my childhood was pretty awesome. Like, I went to so many national parks. I've been all over. They can say they're one with nature.
Yeah, I hope so. And I just think it allows them to slow down, because I mean, even at that age, screens are everywhere. Yeah. Even when you go out to restaurants, there's still a TV on, and you can see their little eyes going straight to the TV. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, like, you just slow down. And that might be the hardest part, because like, my husband, the last place we camped, he didn't have cell phone service, and he's like, what happens if something, I'm like, it'll be okay. Like, if you just drive this far and we're good. So I mean, like, it's good for the adults too, to get out of your own comfort zone and just get to be.
To be present. It really, and especially because there's no service, because we're like, okay, do we have it? Like you said, God forbid something happens or we need to call somebody. It's like, well, if something were to happen, we can figure it out. And if not, we can make our way back type of thing.
So it's survival skills. We got this.
I will say you have a lot of patience. Like from like how you were saying, like, oh, even if we just stay at the cliffs for hours, like if we're bored out of our minds, but they're having a blast, like that is patience. Cause like I feel like a lot of parents would be like, okay, like time to go, let's go on to like the next thing, rather than just like letting them like ride out that moment and just enjoy that moment.
Well, I think it's also quality time for my husband and I, because we can just sit. They are very interested in what's going on, and they're very excited. So we just get to sit and enjoy them. And it's just us and our little family. And it's just, we get to just like, you know, it's not power down, but it's just kind of like a calming moment, like a pause where like no one's upset. Like we're, you know, no one's hungry and we're just all enjoying it. So, I mean, that's the funnest part.
Just being in the moment. I think that's today's theme, is just being present with your children, enjoying outdoors, and just being one with nature. That's today's theme. Okay, so let's dive into take us somewhere a little bit more. So before we talk about anything else, I'm always like, I need to know the design on the cover, the details, and the vibrancy. How did you come up with like just the cover and the title? How did that come about, and the illustrations in the book?
So Take Us Somewhere is it was my son, because we were out west. We were going from Canyonlands to Mesa Verde and all the way in between. And we just woke up one morning and he's like, take me somewhere. And I was like, okay, like, let's go. Let's get out there and just do it. So that was kind of like one of the themes of all of our trips. Like, let's go adventurous, go have fun. So that was a big thing. And it's kind of like overarching for the next book is take us somewhere, you know, where are we going next? And so it just kind of translates down the road. And one of the things, my favorite memory is them poking their head out of the tent, like in the morning, like, we're ready to go. Are you done with your coffee? Like, we're ready to go.
Like, we're energized. We're good.
Like you don't need coffee. Let's just keep going. So it's just one of those things where, and I wanted colors that were more nature, less. So it is vibrant, but it's more natural colors and less like the neons and stuff. So it just kind of gives you that sense of calm. Just looking at it,
it's warmer on the eyes. Yes.
So it's just kind of one of those things. Like we have a blue Jeep, so that had to be in the book. My son said, like, it could not be any other vehicle. So that's kind of one of the things. And I mean, the poor illustration team, I was like very specific on like what I wanted him to look like. Cause I had this image in my head because it actually happened. Like, this is kind of what I wanted to look like. And in the book, there's like the whimsy of like, oh, trees run, trees dance. Well, they don't really do that, but in a child's imagination,
they do.
They can,
of course.
And so it's just like, my son and my daughter are very good at playing out loud. So when they're off playing by themselves, you can hear what they're imagining in their head. And I just absolutely love that.
You're like taking notes on the side.
I'm like, this is so great. Because I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, we read the other day, we were trying to count, because my son can count to 100 now. And we're trying to count how many books we have. Well, we got well past 100. So, I mean, like, of just children's books, they're all over our house. They're in our vehicles. So it's one of those things that we just love reading. So and I read to them all the time. So I guess it's just like their inner monologue. I just love hearing it.
They just create their own stories like out loud. And I just love that. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. We kind of spoke and touched upon this a little bit, but we were saying like nature sometimes, like it's a great place. Like it's fun and you learn and you're able to like feel things and experience them with your own senses, but it could be a little intimidating sometimes for parents and even kids, right? I'm sure like your first trip with your kids, it was very like, okay, like you were, I think, a little bit more planned rather than let's just go with the flow kind of thing. It has
gotten better. And especially with the second kid, you got to go with the flow, because if one wants to do something, okay, now we got to let the other kind of choose. And I do like the choose your own adventure. Yes. And I especially love when they both want to do the same thing, because it makes it easier. But it just, I mean, I'm not saying go out to a national park and don't bring your water and don't bring, a snack and like change your clothes. Or figure out what kind of wild animals are around. I mean, like, yes, there is some planning in the background of figuring out, okay, so it's bear season. Let's be aware of bears. Or we camped in always read what you have when you camp, because we went to Jekyll Island and it's like, watch out for the alligators. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Oh,
Oh, the alligators. So, I mean, like,
did you see any?
we did not.
Okay.
But I mean, like, alligators are sneaky and there's water. So, I mean, like, it's just one of those things where, yeah, like, be aware of the situation. I think I might be a little over prepared. I love to read and figure things out. So,
Which is
yes.
good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not just saying, like, just, stop by the side of the road. Don't bring a water bottle when you hike. But yes, there are things to prepare, but also just like allowing it to flow where it flows, I think is probably one of the better things. Because then it's a new adventure for you, because you get to see what they latch on to. And I love fostering that love of learning, especially since we homeschool. So it's one of those things like, oh, we're really into building right now.
Yeah.
And we're really so we go outside and we build things, and we just like to be outdoors and enjoy nature.
Well, yeah, you were a former teacher, and I did a little bit of research on you.
Oh, goodness.
And you believe strongly that learning happens best outside of the classroom. And I think that I, for one, I 100% agree. And I feel like it's regular, like public schooling, it limits and restricts learning, it confines you to a classroom and to a textbook.
It also confines you to how all the other children are behaving.
Yes. And how they learn too, because not all kids learn the same way. So I love that you take your kids out. And so do you do lessons like on these trips, or is it more just so for fun?
Some of the things, like what I really love is we have like a dry erase sheet, and there it's like, do you see a stump? Do you see things like that? So we kind of like, sometimes we focus on like a hike, like what we want to look at, and just mark it off, especially if they're been a little bit of antsy, kind of grounds them. We have one for the zoo too, because we love going to the zoo, but it's like, which animal do you see and things like that. And it just kind of like, especially for my 5-year-old, it's more like a guided activity.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like, we have ideas. When we went to Acadia, we printed out coloring sheets of the different types of trees. We learned about conifers and all that stuff. Nice. So yeah, there is a little bit of learning, because I think no matter what, I think we should always continue to learn, because otherwise we just kind of remain stagnant. So I think like learning and growing and just exercising that brain is important, but also the fun aspects of just like getting out, getting dirty. Kids love to get dirty. Adults don't like kids getting dirty, but just like let them get dirty.
Adults don't like to get dirty either.
And that's probably a thing from our childhood. Like, oh, don't get that Sunday dress dirty.
Yes, very much so. Oh my gosh. I remember like I would drop something and my parents would be like, no. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm sorry. Because it's just engraved in our brains.
I have to remind myself sometimes clothes can wash, kids can wash.
They're soaked in water.
Like, it's okay. We'll be good.
And I feel like it's bound to happen. You're gonna clean their hands and give them a bath, and then in 5 minutes they're gonna be dirty again. Oh yeah. So, like I said, I don't have kids. I've just heard many stories. So what do you hope kids feel when their parents or even they read this book for themselves?
So I just hope that they connect with Otto and Olive and see a little bit of themselves in them, and also encourage them to ask questions, be imaginative, and like explore and learn, and just want to go out there and do that fun stuff. And I hope it helps parents realize that, take your toddlers out. It'll be okay. Yeah. Like, we will all survive.
I think there's when they read this, they're gonna be like, oh, can we go with Aimee and her kids to all these national parks? I feel like parents are gonna be like, oh my God, what did you do to my child? Because they're gonna be like, oh my God, this sounds so much fun.
No, my biggest compliment was one of someone I know, her child is very into Little Blue Truck. Like, everything is Little Blue Truck. We got to read Little Blue Truck. And I'm not saying Little Blue Truck is amazing. I have it memorized, and like in the car, I could just whip out Little Blue Truck, because we read it so much for my son when I was little. But she asked for this book instead, and I was like, yes, that's so exciting.
That's so sweet.
That she's like, oh, I want to go read that again. I think that's one of the things, and what I really like to do, because I do have a 2 and a 5-year-old, is I wanted the book to be able to go for the younger audience. But then in the back, because like my son's learning how to read, is the fun facts. So that's one of the things that I really like wanted to add, was the fun facts in the back. So that way, like, as you get older, like my son's sitting and picking out some of the words and reading it, but then it gives you it expands it past a certain age, which is also something books don't have, is like it, you have books for just littles and then the intermediates and it goes. But the fun facts kind of gives that way of learning past just a simplified version of what the story is.
Right. And I'm really curious. So, when your son realized that you were writing a book about like your family's adventures, what was his reaction? Was he like, oh my God, my mom is so cool. She's writing a book.
I think we do a lot of stories. Like at night, he will tell us a story at night and he'll go through like the beginning to the end. He's like the end. And like, so he does stories. So this is not something that's definitely different for us to have the stories, because stories are a part of our life. It definitely helped me as a child to read and do things. So there's just one of those things that I wanted for my children. And it kind of, no, it wasn't weird. I guess long story short, no, it was not weird. And they were very excited about it. And he's super proud of it. And he actually took it to homeschool community group and like presented on it. He's like, this is me. And, like,
my mom wrote me a book.
Yeah. I just love that no matter what happens, they know I'm there for them and that I will take a moment and I'll help them.
Well, they did say enjoy them while they're young because this doesn't last forever. So.
Oh, I like each stage I'm going to miss, and each stage is different and I love how they evolve and grow, and I'm just there for all of it. And I will miss each stage, but I do love the next stage of like what's going to happen. And so the next one, I think I'm going to do the Dry Tortugas, which is about 2 hours south of Key West. And you go on a boat ride for 2 hours.
Oh, your kids are going to love that.
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, like taking the boats on its own is its own adventure, but the island is really cool. It's an old fort, so we got to learn a lot of history. And he was younger when we first went and half gibberish, and he was just like, so I mean, like it was a lot of fun. The writing part is the easy part. It's the creating the illustrations and things like that.
Yeah,
what makes it a little harder.
Well, I'm excited to see what adventures Olive and Otto go on next. So. This book is more so to teach children to be more curious and be more out there, be more one with nature, and especially for parents too, to teach them like to take your kids out and really get into that tactile, hands-on learning. So, but what did it teach you, like writing it and publishing it and sharing your experience with the world? What did it teach you?
I think the biggest reminder of it is to just slow down and enjoy these moments. And it reminded me that the littles that were in that adventure are not the same littles that they are now. So it just kind of like allowed me to remember and to have that moment again and be able to just slow down and, the dishes will be okay in the sink and the laundry's okay if it's not folded, but just having that moment with them is what's important.
Well, okay, let's wrap up here because we have a bunch of littles arriving for crafting hour. So if you can give one piece of advice to aspiring authors, maybe other children's authors specifically, what is something that you would tell them?
Just do it. It's one of those things that I always wanted to write a book when I was little. I think when I was 8 and they asked you, what do you want to be as an adult? And I wanted to be a writer. So, I mean, like, just do it. You have a story to tell and it's worth sharing.
I love that. Well, Aimee, thank you so much. We have to attend to children now for our crafting hour because they're getting very excited with all the colors and the pages, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story, share your experiences, your journey, and just so much fun with your family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are kids.
Yeah, he's a kid's hero.
Kid. That's right. I love that.
Kids feels never give up.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I need you to have that quote.
Kids heroes never give up.
In one of your future books.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hi guys, how are you? Okay, so today I'm going to read you guys my book, Take Us Somewhere. So this is dedicated to my 2 littles and our papa. So, good morning, little ones. Are you ready for an adventure, Mama says? Yes, Otto and Olive exclaim. Take us somewhere, Otto says. We are going to Congaree National Park, Mama shouts. Conkagee, Otto tries. Congree, Mama says slowly. Congee, Otto tries again. Congree, Mama sings. We will practice that. Let's go, Otto and Olive exclaim as they pull Mama along. Papa, see? Otto stops in his tracks. What? Olive says. What is that? Otto asks. Tree knees, Papa says. What do the tree knees use them for? Otto asks. Or what do trees use them for? I can read. It's okay. Okay. To run, Olive says. Do you think trees run?
Those trees are running.
Do you think they can run? I think trees can run. To dance, Papa says. That's silly, Otto. Otto giggles. Do you think trees can dance? No, they can't dance. Are you sure? But they got knees. No? Okay. To climb, Otto guesses. Do you think trees can climb? Can you guys climb? Yeah, do you like climbing trees?
Yes.
Yeah? It's so they can grow big and strong, Mama says. So cool, Otto replies. What was your favorite part of the day, Mama asks. I love the tree knees. The turtles are so cute. Good eyes, Papa says. As we packed up to leave after a long day of adventures, where will we go next? Otto asks. We will see, Papa and Mama reply. The end. Until next time. Do you guys want to learn some fun facts about Congree? Yes. Okay. So cypress trees live at Congree National Park. So they kind of look like this. Did you guys see those tree knees? So they stick out of the water. Nobody really knows what they're for, but they grow out of the base and can be up to 6 feet tall. So they're even taller than I am. They're so cool looking. But it's a common belief that it helps them stay still in that marshy water, but no one really knows what they are. So maybe one day you guys can grow up and be scientists and figure out what tree knees really are for. Yeah, they could be. You never know what they do after dark when they shut the park down. They could dance. So the best place to see tree knees is the boardwalk, which is where we went. It is stroller friendly. It's really great. And that is fun. And so new ventures ahead. Do you guys have any questions? Yes.
Trees are grow big, tall.
They do grow big and tall.
Yep. Let me measure how tall it is.
Measure how tall it is?
Yep. This page has got trees. And those peaches too.
Yeah. Is there any more questions? No?
Sorry, you have a question. Where's the park? Where is the park?
It's in South Carolina. It's just, yeah, it's in South Carolina. So it's about like a 6-hour drive from here. Yeah. I made these little binoculars. So you take the 2 felt pieces of whatever color you like, you glue them on. We also have crayons, you can color them. And then we have fun sticker sheets. So you can choose your own adventure, whatever stickers you want on it. Okay? Thank you. Yeah.